Hello again, Steve here, with a few words on the coffee chat we had this evening. I thought it was great. I didn't think there'd hardly be anybody there because there was only a few who had registered or indicated that they would be going on the meetup site, but there were 20 of us there, and I thought the conversation flowed quite well considering how many people were there. It's sometimes very difficult to try to have a moderated discussion with that many people and having everybody have a chance to chime in. The topic was to do with the slight edge, which is that book by Jeff Olson, versus the quantum leap, something he mentions. It's something that we've all heard about before, probably. And the difference being basically that the slight edge perspective is that advances in our lives can be made incrementally. Imagine learning a guitar. To learn that guitar requires many, many hours of dedication towards practice, and then eventually the fulfillment of learning the flow begins to happen, and then somebody plays guitar. The quantum leap approach is somehow the belief that is a bit deterministic, the belief that there's such a thing as a savant inherently, that it's possible to have that quantum leap without all that rigor of practice. And most people agreed that there's a bit of both going on, and most people were along the lines in our discussion that slight edge practice is important to develop things in the beginning, and then at a certain point it feels like a quantum leap, which seems to be directly along the lines of what Olson is talking about, in that, with quantum leaps, or with slight edge practice, little by little by little, it eventually has almost like a compounding effect, sort of like compounding interest, so that at a certain point the practice turns into flow, and it seems to become natural. So now people say, oh, you do that so naturally, you play that instrument so naturally, sing, speak that language, confidence and so on, it looks so natural. But they're not seeing the slight edge practice that took place before that. So I thought it was a great discussion, and just a few little notes that I took on a summary of that I saw of Olson's, and to give an idea, he talks about that there's kind of like a paradox in this slight edge approach, which is that little decisions, we say that little decisions don't really matter, but in reality they do matter. For example, if we think that one of the slight edge things that we want to do if we want to lose weight is to cut out drinking soda pop and replace it with water, well, not drinking water and drinking soda pop for one day, in reality, in the totality of a year, it really doesn't matter much. It's so small, right? But it matters huge in the habit development thing, because one day of not doing that slight edge approach can lead to 2 days, 3 days, and so on. And then there's a complete breakdown in the development of the habit that will lead to those what appears to be quantum leaps in the future. He talks about how we become the results of every little decision compounded, and therefore every little decision matters. He talks about, I use the example of the pop in the water, and also an interesting saying is those little steps that we take, they're easy to do, but the problem is they're also easy not to do. So oftentimes we'll just leave them, and sometimes they're little, but they're a little bit uncomfortable, and therefore if we fall prey to the comfort of the moment and not the bigger picture, then we can lose out, because he has this graph that kind of goes like this and then like this, and the graph going like this is of course the slight edge of improvement, which is that little discomforts eventually become comfortable, and the other way is the little comforts eventually become discomfortable. So I thought it was great. I thought it was a great discussion. We all had a chance to give our input at the beginning, and then a moderated discussion. Most people were involved in the discussion about slight edge, and quantum leap. And like I say, most people saw it as slight edge is important to get things going, like learning a guitar, learning a language, whatever. But after a while, it feels like a quantum leap. But there were those who believe that quantum leap is important as well. For example, praying to gods and this sort of thing. It was great chat, I thought, and wish you could have been there. But there'll be another such coffee chat in the near future. Steve here again. Great chatting. Talk again.